love bosses in games, right? It's usually a big enemy at the end of the level who has way more damage and HP, the most climactic battle of an area. When done right, nothing can beat the feeling of fighting a great boss. The music, visual presentation, cool design, the challenge it offers, all of that combined often makes for the most memorable moments in gaming. So hear me out, if bosses are that good, why don't we just remove all that other bullshit and just make a boss rush? Some games do that, but unfortunately you probably won't be able to name many off the top of your head. Maybe you thought of Cuphead or Shadow of the Colossus. That's about all I have on my mind, to be honest. In most games, boss rush is just an optional post-game mode, kind of an afterthought. And that sucks. What can compare to the feeling of going from one high-octane battle straight to another fight, which is completely different? Well, there is a game I played recently called Furi, and I think this is the best example of a straight killer, no filler, fast-paced boss rush game that has an excellent gallery of bosses, addicting combat, awesome music and visuals, and it also somehow manages to set up a world and tell a story, even though you can beat this game in just 4 hours. I'm a machine and this game is my fuel, so please developers, fill me up. I want to talk about this game in detail and I pray on my knees that people will make more shit like this. Also, at the end of the video I will rank each boss from worst to best after I've talked about them in more detail. The game starts with our main character being locked up. This guy is referred to as the Stranger, and here we meet our first victim, the Chain. He's your guard and the person who tortures you. Luckily, a random guy in a rabbit mask saves you, a true Furi. You don't know who he is, but he's helping you. His goal is the same as yours: get the fuck out of here. The fight with the Chain is one of the simplest, as it is essentially a tutorial. So let's quickly go over the core mechanics of this game. The bosses in almost any fight have 2 health bars. The blue bar is a bullet hell long range fight. You will be dodging enemy shots and trying to chip them down until they reach their red bar. At this point, fight will go into close range, where you have to focus on parrying and attacking with your sword. And hey, do you like when bosses in other games have 2 faces? That's pretty dope, right? Seeing your enemy evolve and get new moves throughout the fight is very cool. And Furi developers agree. So how about 7 phases? Don't worry though, your character also has 3 lives, and after each phase you restore one of them. Also, some of the enemy's bullets can be green. If you destroy them, you can get healed in the long range section and then heal by landing your parries in close range. The fights in this game go for very long, and it works because of how fun those bosses are and how satisfying your character's kit is. You've got quite a lot of moves at your disposal that all flow very well with each other. As I mentioned, you can shoot your gun and break most of enemy's bullets. You can charge a heavier shot as well. There is a dash button, of course, and the longer you hold it, the farther your dash will be. Figuring out timing with this can be quite tricky, especially when there are like 100 projectiles on your screen. You have a slash attack that goes into a combo hit if you spam it. Holding a slash button will give you a powerful hit that will send enemies into stun, and then you can perform a sick attack animation on them. You can also charge this attack while dodging. If the boss attacks and you see a slight glimmer, you can parry them, and as I mentioned, parry heals you. If you hit at the last second before attack lands, you hit a perfect parry, which will stun the boss. And finally, by holding shoot button in melee combat, you can power up your next slash. The Chain is, as I said, kind of a tutorial boss. You can easily try out all of your moves on him. His bullet hell segments are quite simple, usually just a small barrage of bullets, and his close combat is also nothing complicated. He does occasionally use a grab attack, a mechanic that a bunch of bosses will have, but getting out of it is quite simple. Just play with your nipples a bit. He does pull out some new moves with every phase, like a slash that covers most of the map. As a character, the Chain is very hateful towards the protagonist. He says even your fucked up breed can bleed, suggesting that the main character is different from him and other guards. He also claims that he is gonna drain you like a pig.
I'm gonna drain you like a pig.
Damn! The final stage for almost every boss fight is an intense bullet hell segment.
Back with another milk. Help! Help!
In the final close combat clash, the Chain goes in, which you can tell by this orange armor he has. But if you survive his attack, the first boss will finally go down in just a couple hits.
You will be broken. You will go back to yourself.
And with his last breath, my guy still manages to diss you. Now that's dedication. Your Furi friend congratulates you with the first dub, and it's time to proceed. I really enjoy those brief moments in between the fights. The game gives you a minute or two to catch your breath and gives you some exposition, while you get to look at those awesome locations. Those segments serve as build-up. Your companion tells you about your next opponent and walking up to them feels tense. This time you're not fighting a guard, you're in a prison cell, and the person, or what remains, is waiting on you in this over-engineered disco ball.
She tried to tear through those walls so many times, but they just kept growing back around her. It drove her completely insane. Enraged, she'll hunt anything and rip it to pieces. But you and me, we know that being locked up fucks you up inside. We know that so well, don't we?
Yes, this is her. The Pixar lamb. What you will notice immediately is that her arena is different. It has cover for you to hide, can be helpful against laser attacks, cause dodging them diagonally can be a bit hard.
Try to understand, this is a high voltage laser containment system.
In her long range phase, she will be running away from you constantly, shooting some tracking bullets to slow you down. So this fight is kind of a chase. In later phases, she whips out a sight and goes a bit more aggressively up close. In phase 5, she breaks her restraints and starts crawling around the arena like some creepypasta creature. This moment is a bit nerve-wracking, because she completely disappears from your line of sight and all you can do is wait for her to strike. Here she goes completely wild, dashing around super fast and doing crazy AoE attacks. In her last phase, she starts spraying you like an SMG and spamming huge lasers with questionable hitboxes. After dealing with her last phase in close combat, it's time to put the creature down.
Well done. You put her out of her misery.
From here you get transported to one of the prettiest locations in the entire game. Small stone islands floating in the clear sky, windmills spinning and flying objects forming bridges in front of you. This place feels welcoming.
Can you feel it? It's like a dream. The breeze, the peace. Feels like we could take off and leave this place behind us. But you know better. Nothing is what it seems. We're stuck here, and the real world is somewhere else, down there. The old man coming up. There's more to him than meets the eye. A master of time, so they say. But if he's such a master, if he saw it all coming, why didn't he do something about it? Why didn't he stop it from happening? Or at least warn me? But look where we ended up.
Welcome, stranger.
You meet the Line, chill Gramps who can casually manipulate time. It doesn't seem like he wants this fight to happen, but you do. So the fight begins, and it kinda sucks. Well, at least the first phase does. In order to land a hit on the Ankh, you have to break through his 3 layers of defense. The problem is, your shots get deflected, so you have to run laps around trying to also dodge shockwaves he sends at you while shooting his berries. I mean barriers, I don't know why the fuck I wrote berries in the script. Once you finally get through, fight becomes way more fun. He gets on a pillar that you have to destroy while dodging waves of bullets and shockwaves. When you break it, he just fills up the arena with blue orbs, and in this chaos you have to react to him teleporting to you and parry his sword. When you land the parry, time stops. Orbs are not moving anymore, but they're still there on arena and they can hit you. So you have to dodge very carefully while fighting this dude, and he is surprisingly fast up close. Third phase also has you destroying a pillar. This time the attack pattern is different though. And now the final phase. After dodging a small barrage of bullets, Ankh makes not 1 but 8 fucking pillars, and shooting them generates more bullets, filling up the entire map and bouncing off the edges.
I need you to really fuck me up.
If you carefully run around and destroy them all, it all comes down to one final parry. That was the closest battle for me so far.
is no fate. We build our own destiny.
Another boss defeated, time to face the next one. From beautiful sky islands straight to the sewer. On your way you hear Rabbit Guy talking about some event, years of evolution wiped out, and apparently he was working on trying to fix it, but he failed. He also lets us know that what he has heard about the stranger wasn't very positive, and when you face the boss of this arena, the Scale, person who lives in this garbage and who is clearly not sane, he says that you're the one who is responsible for him being like this, and by this point in the game, as a player, you probably start suspecting, wait, am I not the good guy? The Scale has toxic attacks that leave trails behind them that blur your vision if you step on them. And he often dives underwater to attack you from a different angle. Man, I just know this guy fucking stinks. In later phases he starts spiraling his attacks and sometimes pulls you in the water with him. At a certain point our fish friend creates multiple clones of himself. Initially I thought you have to find the real one, but no, you simply have to kill all of them. His final bullet hell is actually quite challenging, cause not only do you have to shoot his orbs and dodge shockwaves, he creates toxic lines on arena, forcing you to dodge in those little squares.
Will we share his fate? Or will life take an unexpected turn? Hope comes from the strangest places.
After the fight, Rabbit Guy tells us one of the most important things about his character.
Destruction of the world on one hand, but on the other, what about my world? Why should their world be more valuable than mine?
This line will be explained later on. We're transported to a wasteland-looking place. Furi homie lets us know that the opponent you're about to fight is the person who defeated you, the person who captured you and who brought your ass to this prison. The tension is building up, it's time for revenge. The guy who's responsible for you ending up here is right in front of you, and you finally get a chance to pay him back. So you enter the arena.
He who knows no fear, knows no courage. I take mine from you. We are what we fight for.
Instead of seeing someone who's brutal and full of anger like the first guy you faced, you see a father calmly talking to his son before he turns to fight you. As a player, this fight is not going to feel good, but the stranger has to get over another obstacle. So the battle begins. This guy's name is The Hand, and his arena is much smaller than previous ones. Overall, this fight is very close combat heavy. You will immediately notice that trying to shoot him won't do shit, cause he just deflects your bullets back at you. He will try to zone you by using some shockwave attacks, but even if you close distance, he can parry your attack with his shield and then attack back. This bullfuck is one of the hardest opponents when it comes to finding openings to attack. As a matter of fact, most of the fight with him I was dealing damage through perfect parries. The Hand starts his later phases by going in and making this carousel that I struggle to dodge a lot. In his second to last phase, he throws his shield away, becoming even more aggressive with his sword up close. I think this part of the fight is a bit simpler, but damn, it feels so good fighting another swordsman. In his last phase, he makes the arena even smaller, giving you no space to run. And when you finally get this guy to his last health bar, he whips out the craziest combo in the entire game.
You can't win. You're alone. I won't let you.
If you survive this attack and beat him, the Hand will go for his one final strike. After this fight, I figured out the most important part about this entire game. You can turn on and off your costume RGB lights. Moving on to the next island, and this time a welcoming person called the Song. Unlike others, she actually offers you to stay in her gardens, she offers you help, and here we cut back to you controlling your character. In this moment, you can get a secret ending if you do decide to stay with her and not walk away, like the game intends.
What a wise decision you've made. We're not so different after all. There is kindness in you. My people will thrive. I will be their hero. You will be taken care of. Our garden will blossom. I will give you more each and every day. I will be yours.
Hey yo, this might be the best ending.
I really think that you should just kill yourself.
But if you want to continue the game and walk the intended path, refusing her help, she will get enraged. The fight begins. Song uses 2 crossbows and has wings, so often she can just fly off the arena and become unreachable for melee attacks. By the way, have I mentioned that there is fall damage? Well, in this fight you will learn that there is fall damage. In later phases she can come closer to you and do some moves, but even in close combat sections I didn't find them to be too hard to parry. She is most dangerous when she keeps her distance, summoning orbital strikes and creating slowly moving waves while beaming you with laser. Even in her close combat she sometimes uses her guns to shoot you, and she got me with it quite a few times. Throughout your battle the Song won't sound aggressive toward you, all her lines sound more like disappointment than anything else. It really seems like she wanted to change something, to help you in some way, but that's not the path you chose. Her final phase is easily the toughest one. As usual, it's a crazy bullet hell segment. She has a barrier around, so you have to destroy a pillar that defends her, except there is 4 pillars, and destroying each one makes this part progressively harder. After the first one she will have 2 lasers spinning around her, and with all the orbs it's already tough to dodge them, but then you add red waves expanding from her barrier and add orbital strikes to the mix. Also, don't forget you're on flying platforms, and not falling is still a thing to consider. If you do break them all that's left to do is to get her one last time, but she's defending till the end. This was easily the toughest fight for me so far, and the first time I got close to actually losing an entire battle, but I clutched up. The Song accepts her death with open arms, and for the first time in the entire story, it seems like Stranger hesitated.
I did not expect that. Not from you. I think I saw you hesitate after the last fight. You, of all people. Why would you ever hesitate? It made me think. I like it. It gives me hope.
Moving on, we get to a place looking like an observatory, with a 3D map of all the islands in the middle, and something looking like a more familiar land underneath them. This is clearly a place where another guard should be. However, Rabbit Guy is the one greeting us. He claims he took care of the guard in this location, but if you are an observant player, you most likely sensed that it can't be true. It's not explicitly told in the story, but we can roughly guess who our Furi friend is based on what he tells us in this segment. And the wiki page. Rabbit Dude's real name is The Voice, and as you probably guessed, he is one of the guards in this prison. To be more specific, he is the person who designed it, the architect. That explains why he is so good at guiding the Stranger through all the islands, and why he knows so much about all the other guards. That also explains why he has all those powers like teleportation, as we constantly see him appear in different places, and his power of levitation. Even though the source of those powers is not explained clearly, we have seen all other guards have some sort of abilities that are connected to their suits or weapons. So my guess is that his mic stand that he always carries gives him those powers. We didn't know what his motivations are, but one phrase that he says explains everything we need to know.
Slowly, that ancient animal part of my brain took over. The urge that made me fast when she was in danger, that kept me awake when she was sick. The architect gave up, and the father came up with a plan.
Anyway, no more time to relax. The next opponent is waiting for us.
I like her. not like me. She's clever, and she has a plan. On a scale of 1 to 10, she's an 11, and she'd give herself a 12.
Damn, are we about to fight the baby?
Walking up to the boss, drones perform a scanning on the stranger. Well, whoever the main character is doesn't seem like he's a human being, at least not without any modifications. Instead of entering the arena, you're dropped right on it. Unlike every other enemy you have faced, this one seems to be well prepared for your visit. Boss number 7, a sniper named the Burst. Quite a fitting name, considering she can easily deal the largest burst of damage in the entire game, even one-shotting the player. As I said, this boss is well prepared, so she doesn't fight you face to face. Instead, she sends her drones to distract you while trying to snap you from far away. This whole battle revolves around you trying to close distance with the burst, and her arena is large enough to keep running away from you and repositioning, while being completely No, not this one, invisible. The only thing giving her away is a red laser from her rifle, and when you do manage to catch her, the arena becomes smaller and you are locked up with her. She might be a sniper, but she is still a strong opponent even up close. The map also has a lot of those pillars popping out. This is your main way to avoid her sniper shots, and you definitely want to avoid them because they deal a lot of damage. As a character, the Burst is very confident, and it looks like she enjoys a good fight. As the fight progresses, you find out that our sniper girl can also use pillars to her advantage, basically putting you in a cage and making you dodge her attacks. She will also attack you in close range while being invisible, making it harder to track her movements. Burst also has my favorite surprise grab attack. I do wish it was harder to react to it. In her final bullet hell, she combines spam of orbs and shockwaves with sniper shots, so your positioning here is crucial. When you get her in close combat, she goes completely invisible. Before she had some sort of transparent camouflage, but now you straight up can't see any of her moves.
That's enough. Assuming manual control.
That was sweet. You beat her at her own game. She was a cheater anyway.
Now we're on the beach. What a lovely place, huh? Feels like a place to relax, to reflect on yourself. Makes me wonder about many things that happened so far in the game, and makes you wonder, if I have watched this video for so long, why not subscribe to this channel? Anyway, this is a place of solitude, and the voice tells us about the person who stayed here for a very long time. He trained for this moment. To face you. And oh my god, I believe that he trained hard, because this moron fucked me up. His name is The Edge, he wields a sword just like the stranger, and overall he looks a lot like him. This fight is unique, and it does one of my favorite things in games. It takes away all the mechanics you learned before and makes you focus on one single mechanic. In the case of this fight, it's parry. If you can't parry his attacks, you won't survive. The battle starts in close combat and it will stay that way. The Edge only has his red health bar and only 4 phases, so I guess that makes him the squishiest boss in the game. But it's not that simple. Quite quickly you will find out how crucial defense in this fight is, because trying to attack him often won't result in anything and you have to look for openings passionately. The Edge attacks fast, his combos are long and some attacks have delay that will catch you if you don't learn it. This guy kicked my ass. It's the only fight in the game besides the final one that I couldn't beat first try, and it's probably the most satisfying fight in the game, because you actually have to learn it to get through this guy. As he says himself,
excellence is not an art, it's pure habit. We are what we repeatedly do.
The fight doesn't end here though. When you get to phase 3, Edge whips out a paddle, then jumps to a different bridge and the fight goes 2D. I did not expect anything like that, but this game just keeps throwing new ideas at you at all times. This shit is awesome. Even though the fight still revolves around parrying, Edge gets some new attacks that you have to dodge, and obviously he has new combos. When you finish his last health bar, it's time for one final anime slash. The toughest battle is over, but there is one more left, and it is also difficult, but not in mechanical sense. You walk through a blizzard on this island covered in snow, and you finally meet the final guard, the Beat. She is not a fighter, seems more like someone who develops tech, and the whole fight she is just running away from you, but she is still fully set on stopping you. There are turrets shooting at you from all directions, laser beams, platforms are making it harder for you to calculate dodges, but overall none of this is hard, even though I did fall a bunch of times. But unlike the last fight, the point of this one is not the challenge. Beat keeps asking you to fall back, and in her final attempt to get you, she activates the biggest laser on this island. But it doesn't stop you. As I said, the Beat is not a fighter. She can barely do anything to you in close combat. And this fight is the dirtiest you will feel killing a boss as a player.
Stop! You can't go out there. Don't you understand? If you, our world withers and dies, you're the end. You are a monster! Not like this. Why? Please, hold my hand.
The fight is over. Time to leave this prison behind.
You are not who you were when you first landed out there. We all have choices to make. We all have to decide what's worth fighting for.
You are on the land, an actual planet. Looks just like the model the voice had in his lab. But it seems like you are not supposed to be here. As you walk, everything around turns grey. Life literally dies with each step you take. Guards did not want to let you on their planet, and they had strong reasons to keep you away. The credits start rolling, but this is not quite the end. If you explore this place more, you find a beach with a small house on it. Going there will trigger a cutscene. The stranger meets the voice once again, and we see him meet up with the person who made him want to come back home. Voice knew that the only way for him to escape the prison he himself made was to let you escape. And even though he knew what danger lives in you, he thought that maybe this journey could change you. He grabs his daughter's hand and leaves the final choice to you. The only thing left to explore here is the big tower. When you enter it and go up the elevator, the stranger finds some sort of a suit or a jetpack. He activates it and flies into the sky. The stranger flies into a space station. Here we get to see that our character is just one of many soldiers who look very similar to him. Going in, we meet the true final boss, the Star. The Star is an AI, and talking to it we find out that our character's name is Ryder, and he was sent to analyze the planet and determine whether it is suitable for invasion, which is necessary for survival of their planet that we know nothing about. Here we are presented with a choice: conform planet assimilation or attack mothership. Depending on what you choose, you will get a different ending, but I think it's obvious that disobeying and fighting the Star is the canon choice, so I obviously went with this one. The final fight begins, and I'm gonna give it to you straight: it's ass. Well, okay, it's not quite ass, it's just definitely below the bar of quality Furi previously set up, and let's get into why I think that way. First, you are wearing this fuck-ass jetpack, and your character moves differently. The movement feels slower, more sluggish, using dashes feels different. I can't actually tell if they changed dashes themselves, or is it the movement, or maybe it's the unusual view angle. I don't know, just doesn't feel right after playing through the entire game. Now, what made all previous fights so cool is the combination of bullet hell shooting parts with close face-to-face melee fights. This fight is just shooting while moving slowly, dodging 10,000 attacks, okay? And this fight is long and challenging. It's not an easy fight. I've seen people online say this fight is straight up impossible, and I can see why they say it. It took me 50 minutes to beat it, and the way I beat it is by figuring out the most effective strategy, which is spamming your heavy attack. In the case of this fight, it's a huge laser beam. So mostly you'll spend minutes just dodging same waves of attacks while spamming heavy attack when you have an opening. Shooting down those annoying drones who also shoot out orbs and lasers is not worth it. They come back in a couple of seconds and it just feels like a waste of time generally. I don't see a point in talking about this fight in more detail, as it is all basically bullet hell that does not compare to other bosses in originality in my opinion. And this final boss is personally a letdown after having such a great run of 9 Guardian bosses. Quite anticlimactic if you ask me. When you do successfully defeat the star, Mothership is destroyed, and the voice with his daughter see Ryder fall on their planet, just like a shooting star.
B rank? Am I dog shit?
Narratively speaking, I don't think the conclusion to this game is very strong. A machine or a soldier gaining humanity and disobeying its AI boss Mami to save the Earth is quite cliché, and I feel like the ending could be way cooler if we fought someone with an actual personality. Like, imagine if we got to fight Rabbit Dude in the end. That would be hype, but oh well. While we are on the topic of narrative, I don't really understand why Rabbit Dude had to stay in that prison and wasn't allowed to go see his daughter. If he didn't help Ryder to escape, it seems like he would stay there untouched. And we have seen the hand with his son. Maybe it was bring your child to work day, but I really can't figure out why the voice wasn't allowed to see his daughter. There are also 2 bonus fights. In the tab, one more fight that you can find in the main menu. First boss is the Flame. Actually quite a cool designed boss, but somehow he has no relation to the main story, even though based on his voice lines he seems significant. My theory is that they wanted to make a full DLC with a new story and additional boss fights, or maybe the Flame could be the boss you fight if you choose to invade the planet, but I'm not sure. Anyway, the fight itself is actually quite fun. This dude has 3 arms and sometimes he shoots 3 lasers at you or creates shockwaves, or just goes in close combat and starts punching the shit out of you. After phase 3 he goes feral and rips off one of his arms to use it as a weapon. That was pretty cool. This fight is not necessarily very unique. I don't think Flame has any gimmick that makes him stand out a lot, but as a bonus fight, quite cool. If you did beat him on standard Furi difficulty, you can go to one more fight tab and choose Furier difficulty, and you will unlock Bernard. Bernard seems kind of like a secret unfinished joke boss that they decided to put in the game and offer fans some good challenge, and his fight in fact is challenging. He has 9 phases, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't finish this fight because I wasn't really interested in fighting him. Again, he doesn't have a model, his arena is just a grey field, and there is nothing really cool about him besides the challenge, so maybe one day I'll come back to finish him. Okay, now that we are done with the entire game, let's rank all bosses just for funsies. I will exclude the Flame and Bernard as they are just bonus bosses that have no significance in the story, so I feel like including them wouldn't make a lot of sense. Number 10, the Star. As I explained, for the final boss, it's just not it. You take away the nice feeling movement that players got used to and offer some okay bullet hell fight. It's the only boss in the game I didn't love, and narratively it's a very weak boss for the final boss fight. Number 9, the Beat. This fight is a very cool conclusion to the prison escape. Even though gameplay wise it's not very challenging, this fight just feels gross. Chasing that poor girl that can't really fight back to then just obliterate her in a fight one-on-one was devastating, but so awesome for the story. I'm not giving this fight a higher spot just because gameplay wise it's not very engaging, although it is a unique battle. Number 8, the Chain. A cool introduction boss, and he serves his role perfectly as a tutorial fight, but because of that the whole thing is not very complex. I do like his design and his voice lines, but it does go up from here. Number 7, the Strap. One of the most freakish looking bosses. Love her design, and her arena is pretty cool as well. When she goes crazy and breaks out of her straps, the fight picks up quite a bit with her melee attacks becoming faster and more interesting, but she doesn't have any cool gimmick that would make her go higher in the rankings. Still a great fight though. Number 6, the Line. Boss with a very cool gimmick, time manipulation, and he does have some awesome sequences. Stopping bullets in time and then attacking with a sword while you have to carefully move between the orbs was cool as hell. I just think this fight also has a lot of waiting and at times feels too slow compared to the rest, so it stops it from being higher on the list. Number 5. The Scale. This character has some of the more interesting gimmicks, going underwater to try and catch you or making his clones that you have to defeat. Cool blur effect if you step into his G's as well. Overall, very strong fight, and one of my favorite bullet hell segments in the entire game is his last phase. Number 4. The Song. Interesting character introduction wise, has awesome bullet hells, and her arena being multiple floating platforms makes it more challenging in the best way possible. Also love her final phase with pillars, that actually might be my favorite bullet hell in this game. Number 3. The Hand. We are entering top 3, and of course one of the coolest duels is gonna be here. The Hand is just a manly fucker in the armor who fights for protecting his family. How can you not love this dude? Love how small his arena is and how he can block your shots, forcing you to get up close, and he easily has second best close combat segments in the entire game, and the best single combo with like 20 hits that you have to parry. Amazing fight. Number 2. The Burst. This is one of the most interesting fights in the entire game, having to fight your way through drones to reach the boss while she's aiming her sniper rifle at you from afar, her constantly going invisible making it harder to land a hit. Also, the way arena works in this battle is amazing. Sometimes you will use it to your advantage to hide from boss's shots, sometimes she will use it to her advantage, making it harder to evade her attacks because of the pillars. I genuinely think this is my favorite sniper boss fight in all gaming, and I've never seen this concept done better. Sorry, Metal Gear. Number 1. The Edge. I think a lot of you could have guessed this pick because of how excitingly I talked about it before, but yes, I love it. I know that it doesn't include any bullet hell segments, and don't get me wrong, I love those parts of the game, but something about this fight being so different and purely focused on parrying and waiting for windows to strike back just hits so good when playing the game. I always love to see a good duel between two swordsmen, and this was a textbook example of it. And the part when this fight goes to D is just as incredible, also introducing an idea we haven't seen in this game before and making an unexpected but very memorable moment. Furi is a spectacle. I absolutely loved my time with this game, and I do hope to see more examples of a great boss rush done by more developers, because this was a peak experience. Unfortunately, it's unlikely we will see anything similar done by big studios, since they refuse to sell games that are not 60+ hours long, but hey, in indie devs we trust, right? Thank you for watching this video till the end. If you enjoyed, it would be cool if you subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna make more content on video game topics that I find interesting, and bye.